Everyone. Today I'm going to read about Dee Warner. She is from Tecumseh, Michigan, and I know that area pretty well, actually. Didn't live too far from there for quite a long ways. I've been to Tecumseh quite a few times. Dee was 52 years old. She has 5 children, and one of them was only 10 years old, a 10-year-old daughter. The others were grown, is my understanding. And her husband is a person of interest, or at least somebody that the family believes. I don't know if he's officially been named that, but the family believes he had something to do with it. And I've heard people say they don't think she's alive. Her brother, they don't think she's alive anymore, which is really sad. But we're going to go ahead and read about her. Make sure I have my cards right side up, and see what what there is there to tell us. So she just disappeared. She was going to tell her husband she was filing for divorce, or that she wanted a divorce that night. She actually had sent her daughter off to stay at someone else's house for the evening so she could have this conversation with her husband. Kind of like what happened with Maya Miliete, remember? She was going to tell her husband she wanted a divorce. These two owned a business together, a fertilizer business. Tecumseh is a farming community, so there's lots and lots of farms there. There's also woods, and not far from there is what's known as the Irish Hills, where there's 52 lakes. That's where I used to live. So there are lots of places. It would be really difficult to find a body there, I think. Lots of marshy kind of areas, places you wouldn't really want to go. People wouldn't regularly go. So we're going to read and see what we find here. So first of all, I'm just going to ask, has she been moved? Because they've searched her property and they haven't found her. So we're just going to ask about her body in general. Was it moved from the home? Let's just ask, has she been moved? Dee Warner from Tecumseh, Michigan. That seems to be the current belief. So let's just ask about that. Now, what card would I expect if she'd been moved? Chariot. Chariot's a really good one for people being moved. Any of the, horse cards, those are always travel cards. Not always, but that they can symbolize that. That's this one right here. Well, that's the Hermit. Hermit is actually kind of guided out. So she may have been guided in a different direction than what she was otherwise planning. Very much so, somebody may have guided her in a certain direction. That's what I'm getting. Now let's ask about Dale Warner's involvement, because that is her husband, and a lot of people think he's involved. So let me just focus on this. Dale Warner and his involvement in Dee Warner's disappearance. Let's ask about Dale Warner's involvement. It's about Dale Warner's involvement in Dee's disappearance. All right, what do we have here? Let's see. Dale Warner's involvement in Dee Warner's disappearance. What's this one right here? Well, it's the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is an active guy. It does feel actively involved. Page of Wands is kind of making plans for things. You see him there looking at something, wanting it to prosper, wanting this thing to come to fruition. He's got a plan. He's looking at it. He very well may have made some plans this evening. We do have her being sort of guided out of the home, and then this guy with some plans. Let me ask for some clarification on that. Let's focus and see. Dee Warner and Dale Warner's involvement. Dale Warner's involvement and Dee Warner's disappearance. I would really expect if he was like to get like the lover's card or something really obvious. So let's just ask for some. I do see some thought going into it from him. Okay, and here's the Empress. So Empress would be wife. I do understand that. It does appear to me that he had some ideas here, active ideas, involved with the wife, which was Dee. We definitely see Dee as the Empress. So let's ask about his involvement again, because that's what everybody thinks. So Dale Warner's involvement in Dee's disappearance. I do think there was a confrontation. Dale Warner's involvement in Dee's disappearance. It does feel like there was a confrontation to me. Dale Warner's involvement in Dee Warner's disappearance. Okay, I'm going to go with both of these. Well, that is the Wheel of Fortune, and that's things changing really quickly. And I do feel that. In my head, I can see them fighting. I think they were on the second story of their home, and I do believe they were fighting, and I think things changed for her very, very quickly. I feel him very angry, very, very angry. Like raging, spitting angry. I know that's such a weird thing, but a weird phrase, but that's kind of what's coming to me. And then I also have the Ace of Swords. So that's the police card, though. That's the police card. It does look like this whole situation, I believe, is going to be figured out by the police. I really do. It seems almost inevitable to me. We've got the Hermit, the Empress, and the Wheel of Fortune, which are all major arcana. So 3 major arcana out of 5. This whole thing is changing. The whole situation is changing kind of quickly. I see the knowledge coming out in that Wheel of Fortune card, which is the books and what have you here. And the Wheel of Fortune is things changing in the right direction. In this situation, I do feel that they're changing in the right direction. Knowledge is coming through. And the police are going to solve this one. They are. They're going to solve the whole Dee Warner situation. They really are. Okay. The police are on it. That's the message that came through to me. I know I asked specifically about Dale Warner's involvement, but I feel like the knowledge has come out and that the police have it, and they kind of know. They kind of know. Let's just ask, because Dale Warner says Dee just took off. Let's just ask, did she take off? Dee Warner taking off. We kind of all know it didn't happen that way. I actually see her on the ground. I think he pushed her onto the ground. And him kind of going after her. Like I said, for whatever reason, I feel it was on the second story of their house. Did Dee take off, like her husband says? Did she just take off? Let's hear about that. Dee taking off on her own, leaving her 10-year-old daughter. Sure. Never speaking to her children again, her grown children. It's just so preposterous, but everybody has to have a story. All right, that's the King of Wands, and I do feel he was responsible. Got that Page of Wands form before. King of Wands is very active. He's very good at taking action on things and making things happen. So, no, I don't think she took off. I do feel this King of Wands was responsible. I think they're right from what everything that I am seeing here and what I'm hearing about the case. I do feel the husband is responsible from what the cards are saying. And being that he's been sort of named as the person of interest, I'm not like out making crazy accusations against somebody that people think is innocent or, there's reasons people do feel like he is responsible, and the cards kind of are pointing that way. Okay, let's ask for Dee Warner's current physical state. I would not normally do this before her body was found, but a lot of people are coming forward saying they don't believe she's alive anymore. Her own brother is saying he doesn't believe she's alive anymore. So let's ask about her current physical state, as in, is she in a body, warm body, breathing, walking around, or is she in spirit? So current physical state of Dee Warner. I'm quite sure she's in spirit. Even when I looked out my window just now, I saw leaves, and it's in the shape of an angel. Wish I could show you. Sometimes, when you do this, you just start seeing different things. Dee Warner, current physical state. That's this one. Well, that's no good, is it? That is the devil, and it just tells me something really bad happened to her, and that it's a male and female, and that they're tied together. And I do believe, again, it's just clarifying that the husband was responsible. It sure does look like it. This is the card in contrast to the Lovers card. If you like tarot, or if you don't know about tarot, go pull the Lovers card and look at that one. That's a couple when things are good. The Devil card is a couple when things are going really badly, and just all the things that you hope are not going to happen in your marriage are happening at this point. And again, very interesting that we've got this King of Wands, and right next to him we've got the Devil card. The story's coming out here. The story with Dee is coming out, and I do believe the husband is at the root of this. It sure does look like it. Okay, current physical state's not looking good to me. Not looking good to me at all, but we pulled that Devil card. How to find her. Again, it's farmland, and it's woods, and it's lakes. So, just, places everywhere, and hard to find an exact location, because what do you see in your head? Farmland. I did see a kind of a ditch, drainage ditch with that, that metal pipe like stuff that goes under the road where there's a drainage ditch, and trash bags kind of around. Yeah, I hope I'm wrong. But when I was meditating, those were the things that came to me. How to find her. Let's focus on how to find her. Dee Warner, how to find her. And horses. Horses. Horse farm, maybe? Dee Warner. Did she have horses? How to find her. How to find Dee Warner. Was there a barn that she visited where there were horses? I don't know why I'm getting this horse thing. Even with a horse trailer, I'm seeing. Dee Warner. How to find her. How to find Dee Warner. That's that first one. That's the Queen of Swords. Weird, my lights are dimming. That's the Queen of Swords. So there is truth out there, truth to be found. Somebody knows the truth. And it's not just him. I think the police know the truth. There's people that know the truth. Like, she is bringing through the truth. I mean by that. The truth is right there. It's like right in front of them. She's left the clues. They just need to yeah, they just like she left the clues. Her truth is there. Her truth is there. You need to look into her truth. What did she write? What did Dee write? Did she write something down? There's truth written, I believe. She left the truth. Something about the bank and the fertilizer. Yeah, it was a fertilizer business. And there is truth to be found there. There is. That's what they need to look into. What did she write down? Signing things. That will tell them the truth. They need to look into that. All right. Advice to searchers. Yeah, we've got some strong cards here. Strong, strong cards. She was very a planner, this D, and she was planning this whole thing out. And there's a paper trail, like a mile long, of that shows exactly what she was planning, and it's like so obvious, kind of. They just need to look at what those things she signed. It's so obvious there. It's like the truth is like right there. Um, advice to searchers. Advice to searchers. And that even is where she can be like found. Just follow that paper trail. Advice to searchers. Advice to searchers. What did she write down? Advice to searchers. Yeah, she was going to take off that wedding ring. I can see it in my head. All right. Knight of Pentacles, farmland again in the background. Horses, weirdly, because remember I said I saw horses in my head. Horses and farmland. And there's travel here. There is some travel here. Did she have a horse? Was she in some sort of around a barn, or was this relevant, or was it a family member's? Something, even when they had a silo, there's a silo there, you know, those things they put the grain in, and the top of it is like I think a silvery color, a metal, like maybe that stainless steel color, and the bottom is a different color. So the top of the silo is this other color, and then the bottom is like a, I want to say like a rusty red brown type something. There's a barn by it, red barn, red, I think it's red. And there's fences around there and a farmhouse over on this side. Farmhouse, barn, silo. This is what I keep seeing in my head. And farms, like farmland, farmland, farmland all around. That's what I keep being shown. It's got to be some sort of significance. Okay. Anything, have we left anything out here? Have we left anything out? What did we leave out? I'm learning these new things to ask from Pam Coronato's class. What did we leave out? She's a really good teacher on missing, reading for missing people. I just keep trying to get better. What did we leave out? What did we leave out? Well, that is a decision that was made, and this lady's by water too, which is in contrast to that card that we had before. This is the Two of Swords, by the way. It's a woman making decisions without all the facts, as opposed to that Queen of Swords, where like everything, the truth is right there. This one, what we left out is her making a decision, kind of going into it blindly. Yeah, yeah. I think she made that decision that night blindly. She went into it blindly. She had no clue. I don't think she had any clue what he was capable of, how this would turn out, or where she was going. Yeah, yeah. I got that whole hermit thing of being guided away. No clue where she was going. That's interesting. Hmm. And then I see them in the house, though, having a confrontation and a fight, and just things. It's night. I can see night here. Not knowing which way she was going. Not knowing which way she was going. I see a 4, number 4, not knowing which way she's going. 4. What do we need to know? Last one. What do we need to know about this? What do we need to know? Just keep seeing that road. It's just a 2-lane road. Do we need to know? What do we need to know about Dee Warner, Dale Warner, Dee Warner's disappearance? What do we need to know? I always like to ask that. Who knows what's going to come through? What do we need to know? Gosh, that truth is so obvious. She keeps pointing to that Queen of Swords card like it's right in front of you. How can you miss it? Well, that's the moon, and sometimes the moon card can be a water card for me. And then we got this 2 of swords for anything left out, and we've got water card. Like I said, there's 52 lakes in that region. I'm starting to wonder if she's in water. It's possible. Or she's around water. Very possible. See if a boat. I did, in my images, I did see like a boat situation. I saw fish being held up, which made me think this whole, I also saw this farmhouse thing. So it was making me think this was by maybe somewhere by a fishing location. But now that I'm seeing the moon as what did we leave out, let me just ask, is she in water? I've got that Knight of Pentacles, which is like farmland, horse, travel. Then we're going into this water. Tell me about Dee Warner being in water. So if I got a cup card or a card with a lot of water on it, sure would make me think she was. Tell me about Dee Warner being in water. Tell me about her being in water. Dee Warner. Dee Warner. I hope I'm not being confusing because drainage ditches have water in them. You know what I mean? So I hope it's not being too confusing. In like a lake. Dee Warner being in water. It's this one. Oh, well, that's the Fool. That's actually kind of stepping off into, yeah, it's very possible she is. The Fool is not knowing what you're getting into. The Fool is ignorance is bliss. The Fool is trusting. The Fool is just having no clue that like calamity lies right ahead. And that is what I feel like this whole guiding out and just not understanding. It's him too acting innocent. We get that. We do get that Fool with the person acting innocent. We do get that. I'm gonna ask for a little bit more on that one. What do we need to know about her? Is she in water? This doesn't show me water though. The Fool is on dry land. So tell me about her being in water. I'm just gonna ask one more time. Just feel like, yeah, like she was just naive. She was really naive. Her being in water. And I don't mean that as a person. I feel like she was a very strong person. She would tell you what she felt. She was a Queen of Swords type. She wasn't one to sit back and just, she used her voice, is what I get. But that night she was naive. She didn't know. She just didn't know. Tell me about her being in water, though. I do want to know about her being in water. Well, that's an interesting card for being in water. It's the Six of Swords and being moved again into water. Really curious what if she's in water. I did get that Knight of Pentacles, which made me think farmland, and in my mind I was seeing visions of like a farm. And we've got these water cards. It's interesting. The Fool, it's making me think because there are like it's very hilly there. you know. It looks like kind of a place where somebody could like be kind of maybe even dropped off into water, maybe drop off into water. Because this person's right over going over the cliff. It's not like mountainy at all. It's Irish Hills is what it's called. It's just little hilly, not far from there. Tecumseh's pretty flat, but not far from there. There's these like hills. Very curious if this may be a water by a farm. Water by a farm, maybe. Let me see if I get anything else coming to me. I'm just looking for kind of visions that pop in my head. Yeah, seeing the hills. Park, park. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. I feel possibly by water, in water. The last three cards are water cards. The Fool is just kind of being guided, naive, over a cliff. I would go back and see all the things she signed and wrote just that day or just a couple days ahead. And like she was really, really planning this out. And I think that tells what was going on. And did she have a horse, or was there something with a horse farm or something of that nature? I think that has something to do with where she can be found. And we got that fishing thing. Like maybe was there a boat involved or fishing or an area that they may have gone to. He may have gone to. Huh. All right. I may work this one a little bit more. I feel like there's a lot more to be found here. And I do feel this hills. So we've got hills in the Page of Wands, literally hills, not mountains. You know, in tarot, there's a lot of mountains. These are hills. Page of Wands has hills in it. Keep thinking that Irish hills. Ace of Swords has a little bit of hills in it in the back. Not mountains, hills. Got this little bit here of a hill in this Six of Swords. Very little bit of hills here in the Moon. A little bit of hills in the Two of back here. Two of Swords. And then this Knight of Pentacles. It's a little bit of hilly. I do feel like maybe that's the direction to look. But it's going to come out real soon here. This whole Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Swords. Just need to look at what everything she signed, and I think that's going to really put them in the right place. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully that's helpful. Take care. Bye.